All right. So let's just get right into it. This is 99 Nights on a Mountain. 99 Nights in a Mountain. And we're going to be starting to design the systems. So, a big thing in 99 Nights is your inventory system. So, I've just been messing around a little bit with like what the HUD's going to look like and what do I need to do here. And so, I have a health, I have a hunger, bag space, and days survived. So these are the systems that I need to generate. I was thinking that your health, like up here, the green bar. Oops, I can't move the mouse, but I was thinking it'd be cool if the green bar was kind of like your shield, I guess, or it could still be your health. And every time you died, it could take away like your health percentage, maybe. And that's how I might do it. Give you a to and because in this game you can revive people. So if they're not around to the end, you should be able to revive them. So I need to create some sort of system that like traps people in place. There's a system where you're supposed to bring food back and cook it. And if you eat too much meat, too much uncooked meat, you can die. So the first system I would like to build here, though, is the bag space. So one of the simple things you can pick up first is wood by chopping down trees. So we'll have to build that system. But even before that, I want to build the bag system. And what does that mean? So we're going to be using logic assets. And so how am I going to accomplish this inventory system that I want to do? I'm going to use a force pick-upable that's going to be able to spawn everything that we can put in our inventory. So wood, coal, scrap, metal. Those are the three things I want to do at the beginning. And so the system needs to be able to pick that up and then spit it out at a later time. So I need a system in the rules that keeps track of what resources in what bag slot, and what happens if the bag is full, and then the ability to spit out those things from your bag when you get back to camp. That's what I'm going to work on here today. So I want to be able to pick up wood. What happens when we get too much wood? And then how to bring that wood back to camp. And you can just do that in your inventory with drop. But I don't know. Just going in and trying to use the menu and stuff is a little too clunky. And I want to copy the game as much as I can into Sandbox. So this is player forced pick 1. So what I'm thinking I'll have to do is do a forced pick up a bowl, and then in this multiplayer settings part of the game, to turn off join in progress, you have to have at least 2 people to start the game. It would be cool if you could go custom and it could just start with 1, but then you can't turn off join in progress. And this is troublesome for this game because I need 4 unique. I'm going to need a unique force pickupable for each player. And so if you're able to join in progress games and people, what this says is players can freely join and leave this experience on. Players can join the experience as long as slots are free. Off. The experience will be locked when it starts. Players cannot join running experiences. So I kind of need that to happen in this game. And that means that games aren't going to start until 2 people are playing. So I'm going to have to make sure games are always starting. Or like always making sure a game is starting. During Builder's Challenge in particular, just like gonna have to make an effort to make sure the maps are always starting, which means that one person's gonna have to be in there waiting for somebody else to join. So for this to work, I do want to use this setting. A small game size, 2 to 4 players, requires 2 people for the game to start and 4 people can play it. And you could go up to 5 here. But 4 is a little easier on my side because I have to do 1 less group of logic. It's a little lighter. And so Cyber Dragon said that this is the people's names above their head. So you can make it so you can see everybody's names above their head, just your team's names above their head, or none. And it's always easier when you can see where other people are on the map, so I'm going to keep that on for now for sure. Okay, so, but let's just focus on the first player's force pickupable. And then we'll have to have 4 spawners so that each spawner will be given a different tag. You can do that now, right? Still have different spawn points, and then it'll just cycle through them. So this tag will be player 1, and this tag will be player 2. Okay, so how do we force somebody to pick something up? A sync pickupable. My wife is texting me. Just a minute, sorry about this. Okay. So message on dropped is going to be um, message on pick. So let's say this is forced pick dot one. So we're just going to make sure we interact with force pick one. How exactly do we make sure that they pick it up again? Can't remember exactly, but section type, specific tags. So we're just looking for player one because I want to make sure that we only give it to that player. And we're going to broadcast to the correct pickable, which was forced pick one. Not sure if it'll be fast enough to grab that one. Or on the exit. And for now, just to make sure we have the picked upable, we're gonna put a visual VFX on it, put a trail. Enable that start. I'm gonna hop over to Misty Mountain quick. Dang it. What reason is that thing? Okay. Hmm. Thought we had a sound on it or something. Just one moment. All right. Whoops. I meant to skip the intro. We definitely got it with us. All right. No collisions invisible. Force pick one. Broadcast to force pick one. Detection player one. Yep. Let's just delete this for now to make sure we're not spawning on the wrong one. Okay, so I am picking it up. Why did this go weird? Opacity on pick. Oh, okay. Okay, at least it is picking it up. Good. Great. Wonderful. And so, just so we can make sure it's working at the start, we can be like, pick two. This is the parent two. Make sure it's just talking to itself. Why does this look invisible when it's highlighted? It's weird. Let's change the trail to electric. This is forced pick 2. We'll have another different spawner here. And so if you spawn on this spawner, you get player tag 2. And this one's looking for player 2. Broadcast tag. And this one's looking for force pick 2. Okay, so I spawn on the first one. Spawn on the first one. Spawn on the first one. set as active spawner. Spawn the second one. If I set it down, I pick it back up. If I set it down, I pick it back up. It's stuck with me. And I stuck with it. Okay. So there will be... There will be 4 of these. I like to do them one at a time because I usually catch mistakes if I do that. Likely I'll be remaking these, but this is just a little early example of what's going to happen here. So this one's talking to force pick 3. Forced pick 3. Force pick 3. And we'll change it to a different trail. Magic dust. And this one is going to be good. So there's going to be 4 different spawners. This one will be player 4. Force pick 4. Player 4. This one's looking at force pick 4. We need to put the proper tag. And let's change the trail to the galaxy one. So this is going to demonstrate how we can have each player spawn in with the game type, the small game, 2 to 4 players. Each of these spawners is only going to work one time. Theoretically, I hope it still works like that. And so everybody will have their unique tag and have their unique forced pick-upable. Now, let's set this one as the active spawner. So now we have this one. We're stuck with it. If we go around and try to set it down next to other ones, we still just get this one. Spamming E to put it down, it's still with me. Now I have this one. They're not all going to have different trails. This is just me testing to make sure it's going to work. But let's go ahead and set this one as the active spawner and just work on this one. So why are we having a forced pick-upable? Because in the game 99 Nights in the Forest, you are only allowed to carry 5 things at once when the game starts. So I have to create a system where you can only pick up 5 things at a time until you upgrade your bag, at which time you can carry 15 things at once. I don't know if I'm going to do 15 due to the amount of logic it's going to take me, but we'll see. So what do I want to accomplish here? I want to be able to go over here and collect these 4 pieces of wood. I have it set up so that they do not even show up in your inventory. And then you be able to spit them out of your bag at any spot by pushing a button. Maybe I'll use middle mouse to drop things out of your bag. Okay, so what's this going to look like? It's a good question. Forced pick. What?
Now you can fish.
In 99 nights you can fish now? Sick.
Yeah.
Apparently you can fish in 99 nights now. So. Hey Nasman, good to see you in chat. Thanks for dropping in. So this is the forced pick parent. And we're going to have an asset spawner. Synced asset spawner. So this is going to be like spawn player 1 player.1.log spawn player 1 log. Kind of makes sense. This is going to be a preset that we do create. Like this. So when you chop down a tree, it's going to give you 3 logs probably. And how are you going to collect these? Probably I want it to be interact with it. Collect sound could be like something wood, collect wood. There you go, right there. And message on collect. So I'm not sure what the rules exactly look like yet here, but let's say check player 1 check, or we can just use collect. We'll use the message collect. Collect player 1 log. Wait, it can't be player 1. Collect log. Collect log to the rules. So this is going to be a rules intensive inventory system. Where we're gonna start a new board. We'll call it bag space. So how do we create bag space? Okay, so we're gonna need a variable for each slot in the bag. So there's gonna be bag space. There's going to be bag size. These things are not persistent. There's going to be bag space, bag size, and then let's do the first 5 slots. We can say that bag size starts at 5. So that means that when we're in the HUD here, this one in particular, the minimum is 0 and the maximum is a variable, and that variable is bag size. Okay. Now, we're going to have to keep track of what is in each slot. So that means that we're going to need player variables for, like, let's say that this is bag slot 1. It's not a persistent variable, starts at 0. Actually, before I create this one, I think before I create this one, let's make another variable for controlling the bag. It's going to be another player variable that's like um I wonder what I'm trying to name it. It's like, what is the current slot that they're on? Let's say bag current slot. Let's say bag slot current. So it starts at 0. And then we'll need one for each slot. So if it goes up to 15, then we'd need 15 slot variables. Let's call it bag slot 1. For now, we're just going to do 5. Player bag slot 2. Player bag slot 3. Bag slot 4. Bag slot 5. So we need a system that checks what current slot you're on, and if it's equal to or greater than your bag size, then it's going to say that it's full. And if it is less than, well, it's going to have to know what slot you're on. So let's actually do correct programming and call this slot 0, slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. So let's see here. So we're going to get this message like collect wood, collect metal, collect coal. And the first thing it needs to do is to check what inventory slot you're on. Is this going to be possible? So there's going to have to be 4 different players. So how can I separate the message out to the proper asset spawners? Is the question here. How are the rules going to know which asset spawners to talk to if the same message on collect is going in? I think we can. Since we have different tags on everybody at the beginning, we can set a variable in the rules that also that can differentiate the messages to make sure that after we do all of this checking, we can make sure we're sending messages to the proper asset spawners. Theoretically. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. So let's just keep going. Collect log. First, we need to check the bag slot current. If it's equal to 0, collect log 0. If the bag slot is equal to 1, collect log 1. I'm going to do this for up to 4. Collect log.2. Oops. Collect log.3. Collect log.4. So if we get collect log 0, what happens after that? We're going to replace edit a number value. I think this will work. We're going to edit a number value. So if we get collect log.0, then we can set bag slot 0 to whatever log is going to be represented by. So we will say that logs are 1. Now, the only unfortunate thing about the replace variable value rule is we can't send a message afterwards. But luckily, I don't think that's a big deal for this particular instance. Let's just put in the same rule set here. We'll add some math. And so we're going to say that collect log 0. Well, we don't necessarily need to use math because I don't need to send a message anywhere, so I guess we could just duplicate this and then set the bag slot current also to 1. I think we're on the right track here. I need to take a quick break. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So we'll have to go back and create a number system for each type of thing that you can hold in your inventory. So I would like to keep it smaller. Smaller the better. But we have to do this for each one of these collects. Just, I don't know the best way to organize these rules. Collect log 1. Bag slot 1 is going to go to 1. If we get collect log 1, then bag slot current is going to go to 2. Collect log 2. Change that to a 1. Collect log 2. Then we're going to change the current slot to 3. Collect log 3. Bag slot 3 changes to 1. Collect log 3. Bag slot current changes to 4. Alright, last one for the collects. Collect log 4. Bag slot 4 changes to 1. Collect log 4. Bag slot current changes to 5. If we get collect 5 when bag slot current is equal to 5, collect.log.no. And so collect log no is going to go check that player variable thing that we need to do. Okay. Let's give this a save. We'll change the tag to log. Call it log. And log is going to be a preset. Confirm. Asset spawner. Spawn player 1 log. Preset. Log. Great. Delay between spawns 1 second. I'll probably slow things down just to make sure We don't lose stuff to spam, I guess. Spamming a button. We'll cross bridges as we get to them. But spawn player 1 log. So when does this asset spawner spawn logs for the player? I think we need to go back to the on player join board. That's true, Nasman. Always be saving. This new one, yeah, spawn. It hasn't spawned from or spawned. It hasn't crashed for me this session, but usually I get a couple crashes an hour. I have been. So we're gonna have another variable. We'll call it. It's gonna be a player variable. We'll call it the player. Player. And so rules, we'll just also go with an edit number value. That should be fine. And if we get the message, oops. Let's go. Layer 2. Layer 3. Layer 4. Yeah, it's super frustrating when things crash. When you've worked on a bunch of stuff that doesn't get saved. Sometimes I just walk away. I'll do this later. And yeah, when it happens on stream, I try not to get frustrated, but yeah, the type of person who can get frustrated. I can be a bit emotional. Okay. So how are we sending these messages up into the rules? Well, we can do separate trigger volumes, because these ones are just interacting. We can use the exit message for now. Because they were all working on the trigger on their way in. I'll just make another ones to be safer. Because these are talking to the force pickupable anyway. Oh, there's the crash. You just had to talk about crashing, Nasman. You just had to talk about it. I'm just kidding. I was due for a crash. You did jinx it. Thou must not talk about the GameMaker crashing. But I'll work on this for a little while longer because I feel like we really haven't gotten anywhere yet. And I want to make some visual progress. Okay. So I decided that we're just going to make some more trigger volumes here. And so this one's talking to the rules. And we will say set player 1. I'm only going to be working on player 1 for now, so let's just make sure this is the set as the active spawner. We'll go up into gameplay, and I was over here on the player join board, and I made a new variable. There's the player that I called the player variable, so we know what player they are. Let's grab edit number value. And so the rules get your player.1 player message thing, then we will set this to 1. And I'm just going to do player 1 for now. Okay, so with that player variable, that's how I'm going to differentiate which asset spawners we're going to talk to. Hopefully. So we are working on bag space. And we need to figure out what happens if we collect a log, but we get the message collect log no because our bags are full. Okay. So collect log no is going to compare the player number. And if it's equal to 1, then we're gonna say that spawn message we came up with. Spawn player 1 log. Because we're gonna collect the log, I'm gonna spit the log back out right there. That's what I'm trying to do. Because I don't want the resource to get wasted when they collect too many things, because I'm trying to copy this game. 99 Nights in the Forest, I'm trying to copy this game. So I'm trying to create those mechanics in the sandbox. Then there's 5 bag slots. You start with 5 bag slots, no more. So if you collect a log when your bag is full, I want it to spit it back out right there for somebody else to come pick it up, or for you to come back and pick it up when your bag is less full. Okay, so there's also how else do you spit stuff out? You should be able to spit stuff out of your bag any spot on the map by pushing a button. I'm thinking maybe it's going to be the middle mouse button. So let's say on player join, we get this on player join message, and we're going to go into triggers. And so on player join, we're going to give you access to the middle mouse to I don't know. Pull empty inventory, pull out inventory. Drop inventory. Message on button down. Let's just call it middle. You're always going to have access to it. Okay. So if we hop over back to bag space, we should always be able to push middle. What's middle going to do? It's going to check our current bag slot current, and it's going to check what's in that slot, spawn it, and then move the slot down to the next one. Theoretically. Okay. So this will definitely work. Yep. We're going to compare numbers. And so what's the first thing we should probably check? Should we check the player number first to just get it out of the way? No. We should check the player number at the end so that I don't have to do a bunch of extra messages. So hopefully I can do the player number at the end and all the beginning messages are as generic as possible. Alright, so if you push middle, first thing it's going to do is check the current bag slot. So if it's equal to 5, then we're going to compare dot slot dot 4. Compare slot 4. I definitely need to move this particular system over to Logic Board Pro. We'll probably do that one of the next streams. For sure. So if we're at 5, we need to compare slot 5. Or compare slot 4, I mean, because I started counting with 0. Now, if we compare slot 4, then this number can be whatever things you can pick up into your bag. Right now I'm just doing logs, so the only thing it can be equal to right now is 1. But let's assume that we also have coal. Logs are 1, coal would be 2. So however many things can be in the inventory, you need to have a compare rule for all that stuff. So I can see there being a lot of rules for this system. Bag slot 4 is equal to 1. Message to send. Spawn log. We use spawn log, and then that's also going to compare. The only thing I'm worried about here is I'm probably going to have to slow the logic down to make sure you don't spawn it or like spam it and like lose spawns or whatever, but I'll be testing. So once we know that you can spawn a log, we need to check what player you are. If it's equal to 1, then we're going to spawn the player 1 log. I'm not sure what messages are going to subtract. The later the better, probably. Then you'll have to use a bunch of different messages, but something's going to have to subtract 1 from the bag slot current. Let's use spawn log now, because I just think it's the easiest thing to understand and make sure it happens at the right time. So spawn log, this is a player message. So this is all just going through the same player. No other players are going to do this because these are all pers player variables. So if we get the message spawn log, that means that we can now go ahead and subtract 1 from our bag slot current, and that's our new bag slot current. And then we're just waiting for the next middle mouse button. And that middle mouse button is where I'm probably going to have to build in some sort of thing that slows it down with like a timer, true false timer or something, to make sure you're not spamming this button. But for now, I'm just going to leave it like this. So if it's equal to 4, we're going to compare slot dot 3. If it's equal to 3, compare slot dot 2. If it's equal to 2, compare slot dot 1. If it's equal to 1, compare slot dot 0. And if it's equal to 0, compare slot dot, we'll say dot null. And that's going to give you like probably a banner or something that says you don't have anything in your inventory. So usually I do that by just being like, I'll give myself a text variable, a player one, and we'll call this the banner. If I don't need to have too much information on it, I just make a banner without a name on it. So let's select this and let's add a game screen banner rule. And so compare.slot.null. It's going to go ahead and give us a 1-second banner for this. And for here, we're going to type in, well, just for now, we'll say bag is empty. All right, all we have the option to collect and spawn right now is going to be wood. So let's just make the wood one. Bag slot 2. Okay, whoops. Compare slot 3. Compare slot 2. Compare slot 1. I can't talk. Compare slot dot 0. Alright, so this is all for player 1. This is just player 1. I don't know if drop would be better than asset spawner nowadays. Let me see quick. Drop delay 0. So yeah, it drops right away. So that's probably the better way to do it nowadays, so you don't have to wait the 1 second. Let's just double them up for now. Get the twice the stuff we're supposed to get, and just test out asset spawner versus drop. Drop will be on the left. We're going to use a preset. We're going to spawn the logs. And it drops with the message, and the message is spawn.player.1log. Player 1 log. Okay, so I need the presets. I need to be able to collect a few of these. At least 5. Put some more over here just in case. I think we're finally ready to do a test. Hopefully it works good. Oops. Still trying to save. I thought maybe I pushed it while it was in the middle of it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Just start duplicating this so it doesn't get corrupted. Did I set this as an active spawner on this one? Spawn there, that's good. Oh, I forgot to make those children. I feel like... Oops, I think I ran off the edge. This is the AS. This is the drop. And this one. This one. Okay, so bag space. Gotta pick it up. Bag space didn't go up. So that sucks. Okay. Just looks like bag space didn't go up, but it did because once I got over 5, it spawned them right there back. Okay. So let's see if I can spawn them here by middle mouse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bag is empty. Cool. So let's make a couple changes. Let's bring this up. Let's say that we're gonna drop this -1. We're gonna drop this. I don't think you can decide where you're gonna spawn it. This is fine. No collisions. Something I would love to do. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but I would love to have collisions and gravity on these. And let's see where I messed up the HUD. Let's go into bag space since this. Was I going to use bag space and I set bag slot current? Probably. Just change it to this since I started using this. So 1 out of 5, yep. And then I can drop it and turn it into 2. Doesn't spawn with gravity. Oh, I forgot to save the preset. Like an idiot. Just give it a minute while it saves, and you can see a pop-up down here. Let's give myself a few of these to collect. So you chop down trees and you get these bad boys. Boom. 1 out of 5. Boom. 2 out of 5. Boom. 3 out of 5. Boom. 4 out of 5. Boom. 5 out of 5. Since we're full, it's going to drop it back for us. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and I'm going to spam middle mouse and let's see what does better, drop or asset spawner. Can't tell, but I did lose logs from spamming. I think the drop one did better. For sure. I got 4 instead of 3. So let's just assume drop is better now. I think Cyber Dragon uses them for his guns as well now, so it's probably there isn't that 1 second delay and it can go off faster. Otherwise, if you want really fast things to happen with asset spawners, you need multiple asset spawners that like toggle them on and off at the right time, and drop does seem a lot easier. Alright, so let's go back to 1. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. This is just like how that inventory system works. I hope it holds up with 4 people doing this. And so if you try to pick up too much, you can't because it just drops out again. You could try to kick it back to the fire with you. And then also when nighttime comes, you're going to have something chasing you. So this is Kuzu with the new follow mechanic, which is super cool. I love the new follow mechanic. It's so good. And so he follows you, and he also flees you. I have it set up so once he gets too close to you, I'm not sure how it works on a 3x3, but essentially he'll run away and then come back at you. I'll have to put him into separate... I'll probably have to put him in separate locations. But yeah, Kuzu's going to be the one chasing you. A naked troll witch. He'll chase you up the stairs. You can outrun him up the stairs. Once you get out of his distance, he'll stop following you. And so you're going to be bringing firewood back to the fire and fill it up. We'll have to have the fire go down over time. Also, if you have the fire built, Kuzu won't be able to get in here. So we'll have to develop logic so that he doesn't follow you into the fireplace area. But this is awesome. I'm excited. I turned... Oh, I got to -1 bag space. I picked up a bunch at the same time and didn't get any of them. Oh, it's because I'm on -1 and my system's broken. I got to -1 and my system broke. Maybe I'll use a button to empty so that you can't spam it. Otherwise, I have to build in a system in the rules that basically gives the middle button on the mouse a cooldown, so you can't spam it. But hey, that's my stream today, pretty much on this inventory system that I'm trying to copy 99 Nights in the forest. And I think we're getting there. You'll be able to see how it kind of works, and I just need to stop it from... I just need to create a cooldown on the middle mouse button. But the bag space on the left fills up, and with the new inventory system, they won't show up in here. You don't have to come in here and drop them out. And use the middle mouse button to bring the pieces back. So if you drop a wood close enough to the fire, the wood will just consume it and keep burning. So that essentially is the first loop that we're going to build here. So we just need to refine this system a little better so that you can't break it by spamming middle mouse. Now let's see if we pick up a bunch of extra things. So I picked up 3 and got 1. So that's another thing too. Drop 1. We're out of. So I'll keep thinking about this and working on it. Cyber Dragon, what's up? Thanks for dropping into chat. I'm trying to make a 99 Nights in the Forest clone. I'm sure you've heard of that game probably. But that's essentially what I'm trying to build here for our next Pickaxe Master game. And it's working pretty good. But except I'm going to use force pick-upables on 4 players, and I just hope it holds up. That's basically what I'm hoping for. It's all the rage in Roblox right now. I've seen it popping up on Fortnite and stuff, and it's just a good idea I think I have that we can utilize the data storage and also utilize the leaderboard. So let me see if anybody in the Sandbox universe is streaming. All right, that's going to be it, but I'll be back on Monday. We're working on the fashion show and this. So we got 2 big projects we're going. If anybody has any questions or wants to chat about anything, just reach out anytime. So we had good practice today, team. I appreciate you. Everybody dropping into chat, all the lurkers. I super appreciate you more than you know. And much love, and I will talk to you later. Cheers. Cheers, everybody.